and welcome to episode 3 of Project Bob, our Bobber 125 giveaway build. And what are we doing today? Well, as you can see, I'm flying solo, so let's get cracking and you'll find out. Roll the intro. If you remember in our last video, we didn't have any means to start the bike without putting wires in places. So I've bought a lock kit, and what does that comprise of? Well, locks, funny enough. One of them being the main ignition key, because it was completely missing off here. So we now have one of those, of course, complete with key. Now, you might think, well, very good, how do you get in the tank if you don't have a key? Well, we have a new tank getting in device cap. There you go. So there we go, and that uses the same key. And we also have a barrel lock, which we do have on here, but of course no key to fit it. So we've got a new one of those. So that's what we're going to fit right now. Now, of course, as with everything in life, nothing is as simple as it seems. To be able to mount the ignition, it looks quite simple because it just mounts on there. Very nice, because it's a side mounted key. However, of course there's no screws, so I have to find some screws, and the threads in here are rusted to hell. So, might have to be rethreaded. But we'll have a look at that in a minute. Now this, again, it serves a purpose. It is a steering lock, and it's no good if it can be easily fitted. It goes under there like so, and the only way to screw it in is down from the top, which means this has got to come off. So I've got to undo the forks, drop this down to be able to get to that. So we need to jack the bike up and support it, because it's only got a side stand at the moment. Do you think this is going to be easy? Well, let's do this first and find out, shall we? So we can at least achieve something in the first 5 minutes. Now, going by this new one here, we can see that the top one and the two side ones down here are the ones that secure it. So I'll take them off here and see what success we have with that. I think it's going to be quite so simple just to slide out. Especially if it's locked in place. Well, let's see. So, plan B is to try and break the lock. Obviously I don't want to cause a spark by hitting it, and there's fuel in there, so drastic times call for drastic measures. I've broken that bit there. So I can twist the lock out of place. I don't want to damage the tank. If I have to put a little bit of filler on the tank, then so be it. But I'd rather not. There we go, it's off. That wasn't that bad, was it? Now I see why it's holding in. That was holding it in place. Aha! The plot thickens. There's one that goes in there that holds it onto the tank. That's why I couldn't undo it. Well, that was helpful in a non-helpful kind of way. Secure, I suppose, ish. Right, where were we? Actually, in having done that, haven't really made any damage on the tank. There's a tiny, and I mean tiny indentation on here. That's just a join of the tank on there, same as on the top there, look. And a tiny little scratch on there. So all it would have done is taken the top layer of paint off. And this is going to be sprayed anyway, so we'll skim it over with some filler before we spray it. Brilliant. So that's off. Fantastic. Right. Now I will put it back on for now, simply because we're going to need to start it, make sure it's running properly before we strip it down and start spraying. So it does need a good clean up. However, look at the state of that. That's minging. I might give that a good wipe over. Again, this can be done completely when the bike is ready to be sprayed. What I don't want is a load of dust and crap in the tank and mixed up with the petrol and then blocking the flow. There we go. That will do for now. So we'll clean that up properly before we put the new one, or before we spray it. So let's mount the new one. And the moment of truth. There, one new tank top fitted. Done. Okay, schoolboy error. I don't need to take the yoke off because all I do is turn the handlebars and there are the screws. So let's get that off straight away. Right, so let's see if that does its job. There. Right, where does that go into? Well, it locks there, so... interesting. It goes there, but it doesn't go all the way up. So what's that about? So now it comes off. Unless it goes that way. Oh yeah, it does. Oh, it locks that way. Oh, okay, so it goes there and then locks like that. So it doesn't actually lock into a slot. Yes, it does. It must do. It must do. That can't be right. Why doesn't that undo all the way? Ah. It appears the hole is not quite big enough. So that must mean the old one was a bit thinner, but that's the same lock. I don't want to break the key. I think that's going to need a little bit of drilling out up there, which I'm not going to do today. But at least the lock's fitted and it works, and it locks that way, so you can't go any further. However, it does need to go in the middle there, so it just needs drilling out slightly on the inner side of that. But anyway, that's on for now. We'll address that another time. Now to fit the ignition. So firstly, we'll just make sure the ignition works. So let's plug it in. Right. Probably got a dead battery, to be honest. Right, new battery needed. Right, booster battery. Moment of truth. Now the headlight should come on, actually. Aha! Yes, now remember it won't start because there isn't fuel in there because we ran the fuel dry. However, the ignition works. Brilliant. So it's just a case of bolting it on. Yeah, that's good. Now I'm aware this would be easier with a socket set, but I didn't bring one over with me. I left it over the other side. So this will have to do. I'll tighten that up in a minute, but there you go, it's on. So there we have a new tank lock, we have a new steering lock and a new ignition. So that's all wired in and done. Pretty simple, to be honest. Now, the next job was to look at the monoshock arrangement. I'm not sure on that, and I'll tell you why. Being a bobber, it has to have some kind of traditional look to it. Now, there is the option of going monoshock. However, that would mean cutting these off and modifying this, which is not a problem, to be honest, because we've done far worse. That's not an issue. However, the issue is, are we going to get a monoshock in there without completely taking out this airbox? Now, with the airbox, this filter is going to come out, and we're thinking about putting a gauze over as the filter. What are your thoughts on that? So, until we tackle this, need your opinions, please. So the opinions are: 1, filter. Do we go for a cone filter coming out the side, or a gauze so we can get rid of this airbox altogether? Then we can go for the monoshock in the middle from the subframe up to here. That's one option. The other thing with that is it a problem with the monoshock facing backwards? Don't think it's an issue, but if it is, we'll have to put a bar in here and just aim it forwards. Not a big drama. So, do we go for the monoshock or keep the traditional twin shocks, therefore keeping the bobber style? Because I'm not sure, and I don't know what's going to look better, and your opinions, being a giveaway bike, will be completely 100% valuable on that, please. And that's it, really. I'm really sorry it's been a short video this week, but there is another one coming midweek on another new bike that I've bought. As you know, I bought the Triumph Speed Triple. It's a bit poorly, and the whole thing just wound me up, to be honest. I've had enough. So I went out and bought another bike. Some of you may have guessed what it is if you follow on our Instagram or Facebook. If not, you'll see that coming midweek, because that's when it's arriving, on Wednesday. So I'll be doing another video on that one. Very excited. It's not a brand new bike, but it's what I've always wanted, and now I've got one, and I'm really looking forward to riding it. So that video is coming as well. So again, I apologise for being a short video this week, but there is going to be 2 videos this week instead, so that'll make up for that. On the next bobber video, we will need to know, please, to say your thoughts on the shock and your thoughts on the airbox, what we're going to do with that. And we're going to make a decision on the colour. So in the next video, you'll find out what colour we're going to be doing the bike. Also, what I'd like your opinions on is speedo. Do we go for a modern digital speedo or an analogue speedo? So your opinions on that as well, please. And that's it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye.